Yes, I'm here.
Perfect.
My headphones are connected.
Okay. So we will start shortly. First, a little brief about DataMelon and who we are and what we are doing today at the growth metrics that actually matter webinar. So tell us a little bit about DataMelon, Ayobami, account manager. And then I will hand to Natalie.
All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining from. My name is Ayobami, Sales Account Manager here at Camelon, working out of our Lagos office. So I'm going to present my screen now to just give you a brief introduction into who we are at Camelon, what we do, and what you should look out for. So in summary, we are advanced, we're a cloud data and AI driven company, right? And we ensure that any business that work with us are able to leverage the power of the cloud, harness AI for their business growth, and of course revenue in mind. So we've been in the business for quite some time, and we offer a range of services from cloud migration to application development to building custom AI solutions, and even more for startups. We do have an entire startup advantage program where when you work with us, we ensure that we walk your business from whatever stage that you're in to ensure that you are making the most of what is available to you. As an AWS Advanced Consulting Partner, a global reseller of AWS and its services, we have a number of packages that I'm sure Sivan would most likely share in an email to you for you to see more details of. And we look forward to working with you as much as possible in terms of building custom AI solutions, even proof of concept. If you have an AI use case that you have in mind, that you're looking to explore and you're not really sure of how to start, working with us as an AWS partner, we can help you with that. And if you are on other hyperscalers and you're looking to migrate to AWS, we are your best shot. So yes, that's a brief overview of who we are at DataMelon. And we look forward to working with you. Have a good webinar. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bamba. We will now hand to Natalie in San Francisco and Amichai, who is here in London. And over to you. Thank you.
Hi, hello. Yeah, thank you, Sivan, for having me. This is the second time DataMelon and Funding Breakthrough Lab, which is I have. Anyways, I'll introduce myself. I'm Natalie. I'm the founder of Funding Breakthrough Labs. And this is the second time we've partnered with DataMelon to host an event. So really happy to be here. So I'm in San Francisco in the Bay Area, and I host a bunch of workshops as well as a nonprofit free accelerator. If you're curious about us, we do have a Luma page as well. It's luma.com/FBL, and I'll put it in the chat after. But we do have a lot of workshops online. So even if you're somewhere else besides San Francisco, you can join. And with that, I want to introduce Amichai Evans, and he's going to be hosting the workshop today on KPIs and scaling. I know that he works at Monday.com and helped scale the company in just like 2.5 months. And so with that, Amichai is a senior project manager at Monday.com, currently leading Monday Vibe, an AI-powered product builder that scaled to 100,000 apps in the first 3 months. A former European debating champion, Amichai combines his communication background with hands-on experience to share product thought leadership through educational LinkedIn videos, industry podcasts, and lectures, making complex AI concepts accessible to product leaders everywhere. And so I'm super excited to have you, Amichai, and I'm excited to hear about what you're going to teach us and what metrics we should be tracking to, go to market.
Hi, thank you, Natalie. Thank you for this warm welcome. Let me just share my screen. 1 second. Okay, do you see everything? Yeah, hi. So yeah, I'm going to talk about 4 KPI mistakes that I learned the hard way, and maybe, hopefully you won't need to. A little bit about me. So I'm Amichai. I'm a product manager today at Monday.com. I had some time at Microsoft working on cybersecurity products. I worked at Axis Security that was purchased by HPE. And in the last 4 years are in Monday, and I'm today working on our AI vibe coding tool. I'm also a European debating champion. You can see this is me in Serbia winning that with my partner. I also taught debate in Tel Aviv University, and this is my beautiful wife, which has also won met in debate, and we won here a Paris a competition in Paris, and we got like a macaroon and cider. She beat me, so I had to marry her. That was the rules, basically. And I want to talk about those KPI mistakes. It's going to be not exactly about the product I'm doing today, I'm sorry, but it's going to be on the last product that I worked in. I'll give you a short intro, and I will tell you this thing, we're going to do it together, right? I'm going to show you like a real problem, a real product problem with data that I had. We're going to solve it together. Maybe we're going to do a mistake, and then we're going to learn and improve it over time. Okay, so stay focused. You'll need to be a part of it. I'll give you a little bit of background. It's not that important. It's just so I understand my example. So this is basically Monday.com. It started at least as a project management software. So you see every item here is a task maybe, and it has priorities or statuses, and it can manage anything you want. And I was my domain, right? The thing that I was in charge of was the automation. So automations was a really, really easy way for users to build very complex automated ways over Monday. So for example, you can say if the status of a task is changed to done, move it to another group, right? And it can get really complicated. Today with AI, you say, okay, something is created, send it to AI, make the AI summarize it, make a decision for you, then decide if you want to move it, write an email, send this email to the customer, right? So there's more and more complicated things going in there. But for simplicity's sake, let's take this small example. And now I want you, let's do it in the chat. Like you're in charge of this product. Like this is your product. You want it to succeed. How would you measure the success of the product, right? What KPI would you use and look at so you will know if you're on the right way, right place or not? Okay, you can take your time. Just put it in the chat, and I'm going to read it out loud. It's okay, there are no wrong answers, there's just answers, right? You are in charge of automations in Mondays, you are building this product, you have the development team, and your goal is to see, or to decide, to measure your success. Who's going to be the first to share something on chat? I hope I'm looking at the right chat. Yes, okay. Okay, how fast was the time for first done? I love it, Daniel, thank you. What else? How else would you look at you're working on this product and you want to manage the success? Okay, I'll give you some of my ideas, right? So, okay, if a client is confirmed they are happy with the delivery, that's great, thank you. I started with recurring use, Rachel, really great. Number of finished features or number of status changes to done. Okay, that's also a great answer. So I really started with something like, okay, how many accounts, right, do I have that are actually using this feature, right? Let's just look at the number and see it grow. And then we said, okay, customer satisfaction, nice. I said, okay, let's not look at how many different accounts, because they might be like, some might use it a lot, some might just use it a little bit. So let's ask like how many automations are being created, right? And Monday is a huge company, so the numbers are crazy, right? Or I even asked, okay, I said, let's take it another step, right? This is a bit of a usage. This is like how many people clicked, but it doesn't mean that it really helped them. So I said, okay, let's be more nuanced than that. Let's say how many actions were I able to save by automating it. Yes, exactly. Amir, what's the business value to the customer? So I said, look, the more actions. Yesterday, a user has to go into Monday and then change a status, send an email, make a decision. I'm going to replace it with an action. And I looked at the numbers, and again, Monday is really big, so I got crazy numbers. But I had a problem. Like, it doesn't matter what I did, it really didn't affect this number. And I tell you why. Like, I'm in Israel, and okay, I looked it over time, right? And it got like really, really big. And every month I could see it. Okay, it's rising. More people are using my product. How fun! I'm doing a great job. But we have the problem that, like, I'll tell you, in Israel, we have like our minister says every year, like, we are releasing the biggest budget, health budget ever, right? Or we are releasing the biggest education budget ever. And the problem is that there is something else that is moving this needle, right? So in Israel, for example, the population just gets bigger every year, right? Or the GDP is getting bigger. So you have more people, so automatically you get more money and you can do more things, right? And when I looked at my graph, like how many automations are running or actions were saved, it was not really moved by what I did. It was actually moved by how Monday's people, like the number of users generally in Monday, right? It means that someone else did a very, very good job, got more people into the system, and I have like part of it, so like it gets bigger, right? So it didn't really move because what I did, right? I can release a new feature, make it greater, and like this number will grow, and I can even give a bug, like add a bug to the system and make it worse, and it will still grow, because that's not really connected to anything that I'm doing. It's just a number that no matter what I'm going to do, is going to get larger, right? So the first problem that most people have in most products, in most startups, in most graphs in the world is they use vanity metrics. Like vanity metrics are one that looks good. They always grow. They looks really good on the graph, but they don't really tell you whether you are doing a good job or not. Like a lot of other things are moving it and not your work, right? If I would, instead of that, for example, look at how many automations are like per user, right? Or divided by the number of users, then it's going to be a bit more interesting, right? So if there's more users, and there's more automation at the same rate, I didn't do something new, right? So I need to make it go faster than other things. So the first thing is just look at the metric that you're looking at right now and ask yourself, is it a real metric? Is it really show value? Can I really, does it tell me if I'm doing a good job or not? Or is it just looking good for the deck that you want to show someone? That's the first problem, and it's one of the basic ones. So we're going to get to a bit more interesting thing than using vanity metrics. I want to show you another part of the product, right? In the product, we had something that we call a store. This is the template. So instead of people like building and deciding, like, this is what I want to automate, do one, and then do two, and then continue, like we gave them, here are a lot of examples of other automations that the other people built, right? Maybe use one of those. Now I'll bring it back to you. I wanna measure the success of this metric, of this store. Like, it's a new feature, it's a new ability. I want to know if it's successful or not. What should I look at? Like, give me, again, no bad answers. Just write something in the chat, and we can think together. Like, how would I measure the success of a new template store for my product, right? It's something really, really common. Nearly any product has some version of a template store that shows you, like, here are ideas of how you can use this product. Okay, so we get an answer, a % of time freed up for the customer, which is great. What else? Nice. User usage and adoption, really a great answer. I'll get the third one, and we'll see a little bit of my ideas. Heat maps, I love it. We're actually looking at number of people per time, increase usage compared to Monday average. Okay, people are learning from the last mistake, so I love it. Thank you. Increase productivities by %. Okay, that's really, really great. Let's see what I did, at least at the beginning, right? So what I tried to do it like the right way. So I try to connect it more to the business in Monday. So I said, look, in Monday, there are the new users that just joined, right? And then from the people who joined, I have the people who found this automation center. And then from them, I have the people who started actually building. And then the people say, okay, that's good enough. I actually want this automation running and edit it. So what I want to make sure, I look at the whole funnel. And I want to say not only like out of everyone who started using Monday and found the automation, like how many of them actually created the automation. It means like how many opened the center. It's more of like where did they put the button, right? How dominant it is. But from getting to the center, like what % of them actually created something that they want over time. So instead of being trapped at like if there's more, I'm not looking at like the absolute number, but what %, how does the funnel look like? From all of the people who got in, how many created the automation? And I said, okay, look, this is like interesting. I have a funnel. I can optimize it. I can say, look, if there's a problem with not enough people opening it, I'll make the button bigger. If they're not starting to build something, I will change the actual templates, right? If I change the template, but they're not creating, I'll make the create button bigger or help them understand what will happen. Like, so it really informs me, like different, like if there's a problem, a different part of this funnel, it changes how I will work because I'll fixate on a different problem. But, and then I got this number, right? It's a very beautiful number, and now I'm trying to increase it with the funnel. But there was still a problem with it because it still didn't tell me, why do I care about those automations? Right? Because, okay, people get to the system and I got a new feature and I want to see that people use the feature. Eventually, I still came back to how many people are using it. And how many people using it is not really value. Like, why should the business care? Why should Monday care how many people use automations, right? Is it more is better? Like, I don't know. I didn't connect it to anything that is really changing the needle of the full company. So what I did here is I looked, like in Monday, we have, when we look at KPIs, we look at more on in like a tree, right? We have something we call monthly active paying people. That's like how many overall people we have in Monday, because they pay by seat, and the more people use Monday, like the more, I don't know, money the company gets at the end. And when we look at the active people, we basically can connect them, separate into two, right? We have the existing users that we want to keep them in the system, and we have new users that we add to the system, right? The more we add all new users, or more the existing users come back more or not leave, we increase them up, right? We increase them up, we change the business. And even that we can break down, right? New users can be, okay, how many, their marketing is changing it, how many of them conversion to change. And like we have this huge, I'm not going to get the whole thing, but the point is, doesn't matter where you are, which KPI you have, you can always explain, like, why are you doing it? I'm doing that because if I will change this KPI, it will improve the one above me, and eventually I will get to like the number that we're looking at when we're asking, like, is the company successful, or how are we compared to last month? So I wanted to do the same thing. So apparently I said, okay, what am I affecting with this store? This store like teaches people how to use the product. So it's usually for the new users, not for the existing. If someone already bid like 5, they usually already, like, they don't need templates. They can build it themselves. And for new users, there's the people who just start using Monday and they have like a trial. And after 14 days, they can decide whether they'll start to pay, or are they using the free tier, or start using or leaving the system. So what I want to do is to improve the conversion. And we know that for improvement of conversion, there's like a couple of steps that we know that if a user is doing in the first 1 or 2 weeks of the work, we know that there's a very, very high likelihood of them converting to pay. And we can see that if someone is creating the automation, it's better, like it seems like they can actually set up their account, so they are more likely to convert to pay. So we have a new user that increases them up, right? I know it's a lot here, but the basic idea is that I took my corner, right? I'm created a new feature called automation, like the automation store. And then I asked, okay, how can I actually affect up? And this is important because what I did next is I asked, okay, I looked at all of the users who started using the system. And I asked, okay, how many automation did they create in the first week? And then I asked, okay, what % of them became paying? And I can see that if you created 1 automation in your first week, you have 28% to become paying. And if you have 2 automations, you have 40% of becoming paying. And if you have 3 automations, you have 50% of becoming paying. And then like it increases a little bit. But as you can see, like what I saw is that if someone built 3 automations, like they are about 2 times more likely to actually become a paying user. So instead of asking, okay, how many users in the first week were able to create automation, I changed it to how many created 3 automations, right? Because I know that 3 automations, it's like a lucky number. I see it in the data, right? That if you manage to create 3 automations in your first week, you are a lot more likely to actually becoming a paying customer. Okay, so I just took the same funnel we did before, like people who joined Monday, found my automation store, started building, and then my new KPI was, okay, how many people were able to create 3 automations? And that was really, really important. Why? Because instead of having, again, just a number that is asking how many people using my product, I am now asking like a business question. Like I'm saying, okay, I see that using 3 automation is actually correlated with becoming a paying user. So I'm asking like how many built enough to become a paying user and not generally how many people used my account. And now it was like my second problem, right? The first one was using a vanity metric, but the second is, and that's also very, very common, was I measured at the beginning usage instead of business value, right? I don't care how many people use the product. I don't care how many people click. I care only like how can this take my business and move it next, right? Move it forward, add more users, add more paying users, add more repeating users, right? Because that's the way for our like my startup or my company or my product to actually succeed. So every time that if you measure something and you understand that what you are measuring is usage, like how many people, like if I wanted the usage to be 100%, I could put like instead everyone that gets in will have a huge red button that they have to click that creates automation. Okay, I got usage to 100%, but there's no business value behind it. So that's why my second KPI mistake. I'm going to take you to the third, because now we are smarter, right? We don't use vanity metrics. We're connecting everything to the business. And I'm taking you to another part of the automation world, right? I started getting complaints. Like I looked at the quality and the support, and people telling me, look, automations are not running fast enough, right? This is a customer, he's clicking on a button, waiting too long, and like nothing happens. Like the automation doesn't change, nothing changes. He doesn't see anything, like it doesn't work. Okay, later I show it for a second, but doesn't matter. Like now it's your turn. Like you get this complaint. What are you going to do? Like which data are you going to look at to decide what to do next? Again, you can put it in the chat. There's no wrong answer, but we are going to think about it together and see a little bit of the mistakes that I did. But I would really love to hear your thoughts. And what would you do if your customers will tell you, look, your product is too slow? Which data are you going to look at? Which KPI are you going to measure? Yeah, I know you can. I saw your smart answers in the last one. Yes, benchmark to competition. Monica said that's great. What else? Well, let's get at least 3. Yes, website responsiveness, also great. Thank you, Charles. I love your answers, by the way. I think they are smarter than the one that I did. Latency versus other products. Let's break down the flow for station and let's see exactly where it is. Time to working automation. That's great. Great answers. Thank you for participating. So what I did, and some of you did it, I looked at all of the automation and I asked, okay, let's see. Okay, they tell me that it's slow, but let's see if it's really slow, if the data shows it to me. So I asked my developers to add like a KPI, like a data or events every time that something is running, and I got this beautiful pie. What is this pie? I'm taking all of the automations in the world that I'm running, and I ran like millions of them because again, it was tons of, it was running for every user, it was running hundreds and thousands of times a day. And I saw, look, about 67% of the automations, they finish in less than 2 seconds, right? And then I have like 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and I have like 13% that they take more than a minute, right? Like, and when I see it, and I say, okay, look, we have a very big problem, right? It's like 2 out of 10 automations are super, super slow. I I went to my developers and I tell them, look, we have to upgrade the infra. We want to make it super, super fast. We must fix anything. And they told me, okay, it's a big project. We need this many people, this many time, this much money. And then we're going to make every automation run as fast as possible. Now, there was a problem with that. And to understand the problem, I want to tell you like a real story. So this is the NHS. The NHS is like the healthcare in the UK. They had something similar to what we're talking about. A lot of people complain that when they get to the hospital, they have to wait tons of time before they see a doctor. So the NHS said, okay, we are going to solve it. And what they did, they started measuring how long does it take from the moment that someone gets into the ER, right, to the moment they see a doctor that treats them. And they said, no matter what, we are going to reduce it from like 3 hours, 8 hours to 20 minutes. Everyone is going to get a doctor really, really fast. What do you think happened when they did that? When they started measuring and like they gave fines to hospitals that had a long waiting time, and they try to fix it like that by saying, okay, everyone gets a very, very fast treatment. What do you think happened? You can tell it in the chat. Again, there's no wrong answers. It's together. Okay, hospitals sent people away when they were busy. Sounds, yeah. They rush patient care, leading to poor outcome, bad patient experience. Yeah, so everything you're writing is right. What they did was even more creative. They told the people in the ambulance not to get the people inside, not to put them in the AR. I told them, keep the person in the ambulance. Once we have an open spot, we'll tell you, then get him inside the AR. Right? They tricked the system. And like, what's the problem? Why is this, like, if you can think about it, why are we telling anyone that gets to the AR have to get care really, really fast? Why do you think it's not a good measurement? What could be a problem with this kind of KPI? Well, it's okay. Again, no wrong answers. Okay, but one telling me, Amir, it's when you do it too fast, you might harm the quality. Oh, and get from not outcome oriented. Great. Everything you tell me is the same, right? It should be by severity, right? If someone has a heart attack, they should get treatment right away. And if someone got a scrap, it's okay that they will wait a couple of hours, right? You don't want to take all of them and give them like one KPI that says, okay, everyone has to get it really fast. Yeah, okay, all of you, I really proud of you. I think you gave great answers in the chat. And I understood that it's the same if I'm going to tell my developers, right? We had like all of the, take every automation, we have millions of them, all of them have to run really, really fast. If I'm going to do that, and it's going to be super, super expensive, and there's no way we're actually going to make it. So what I did is actually, I know it's an ugly graph, but it's a real graph that I used. I took every action that the automation can do, and I broke it down and asked like how many of them we have and like how slow they are. And what I understood, you don't need to have the details here, but some actions, users expect them to be really, really fast. And some of them can take time. Let me give you an example. If you click on a button that should move something in your screen, you expect that the moment that you click, it will move, right? But let's say there's a button that an automation is going to use AI and then send an email. You don't see the email, right? The email is sent to someone else. Let's say they will get the email in 30 seconds or in a minute. Who cares? Like it's an async, right? It's an offline action. It means that some of the actions need to be really, really fast, but some of the action could be really, really slow and it's still okay. Like maybe something can take 5 minutes and it will be okay. So I don't need to make everything fast. And what I actually see that like I have 3 actions that are the majority of the automations are doing, and people expect them to be fast. And if I'm going to make those 3 faster, I'm going to make the experience of everyone feel a lot faster, right? Instead of me taking all the 50 different options that we have and making all of them like crank out of 11. So what we were able to do is to improve, like we were able, like the percent of automations that were, like we changed the logic. So if I have multiple automation running at the same time, I will first process the ones that they should be really, really fast, and the ones that are slower, we put them at the end of the line. And instead of building something super expensive that cost us a lot of money, we were able to change the experience with something a lot more flexible and that will also scale over time. And my developers could do something better, right? Fix the problem, get more value to users instead of trying to treat everyone. So you see, like this is the third one. We are getting progressively more, we're about to get to the fourth, but we're getting progressively more nuance in the problems, right? The first one is don't use like a metric that doesn't mean anything, or that doesn't affect your work and just look good. Like if you need to show it to your investors, show it, but they know that it's not real. Secondly, don't measure usage, right? I don't care how many people click. I care like how many got value and how many of them like will continue to use my product and how it's going to affect my business. But the third one is in a lot of cases, you don't need one metric, right? You need to separate it to different use cases. Maybe some users, I'll give you an example, right? If you look at Twitter, for example, X, right? Some users are the people who write posts, and some people only read, right? And you can't treat them both like the same thing. You say, okay, we have different types of users. Each one of them needs something else. Or have different types of technologies or different type of problems. And a lot of the cases, that will make you succeed by making not throw everyone to the same pile. Okay, we are getting to the last one. Okay, last one, I promise. And it's again, we're staying in the world of automation. It was a big product, a lot of problems with it, and a lot of experience, and also a lot of values. And this time, we are talking of the problem that sometimes the automation failed. Right? This is like an activity log. I see the automation, and something happened, and it doesn't actually work. Right? And then users told me, look, the automations are not working. I don't trust your product. I can't put my core business on your product if it doesn't work half the times. Like in order for me to actually pay you and use you and replace other system, I need to be assured that it's working. Right? And now we have the goal to increase the success rates of automations. So what do you think I did? Again, you can write it in the chat. No wrong answers. We are now like seasoned product managers and entrepreneurs, right? We know not to use vanity metrics. We're thinking about business. We're using different KPIs for different use cases. Like which type of things are we going to measure now if we want to increase the success rate? Yeah, feel free to write in the chat. Again, no wrong answers, and you did really good in the last. You gave better answers than I did in the real world, so I know you can. Okay, our goal is to increase the success rate, and we want to create a dashboard or a KPI. Okay, so Eyal tells me we are going to check which are the most used or the most crashed automations, right? Look, taking things from the last problem. Let's not look at all of them together. Let's take like the ones that are crashing the most, or let's take the ones that are most important because they most used. One more, let's get one more idea before we'll continue. Thank you, Eyal. You're the winner until now. Thank you, Shamdura. Samdura, I'm sorry if I butchered your name. Failure linked to customer revenue. Really good. Okay, let's see if those failures are actually linked and if we can find a failure that can, if we fix it, we're going to help more users or actually revenue. I like all of those, and I'll tell you what I did. I did all of them. I told the team, like, let's fix it, and we looked at the biggest issues, and we fixed them, and we got it a little. We had like 95% success rate, and we got to 98.5. And then it took like a couple of months, and we had we really worked on it. And then like next quarter, we continued to work on it, and we improved it a little bit, right? Only a little bit of those, only 0.5%. We didn't get to 100 like we wanted. Like we didn't get close to actually fixing it. So I did what we did before. I thought, okay, I'll connect to value. I'll use different use cases. I'll get metrics, and I build like a huge dashboard that shows you success rate, errors, top accounts, top problems. Like it's a lot of ugly colors, I know, but basically it was a super detailed dashboard. I put it on a television above the team, and we worked on it. And what do you think happened? It got worse. Like the number of failing or the percent of failing automation got even worse than before. And I didn't understand why, right? And I did everything, like I learned all my problems. I thought I'm the king of KPIs. I know everything. And I'll tell you like one last story, and we'll go to my solution. And this one is also, it's a British one. Yeah, it's so you see British Airways a couple of years ago. Now it sounds like now it's one of the good airways, but it used to be like the worst airway in the world. Like if you booked a flight with them, you know it will never leave on time and will never come back on time. And so they started with saying, okay, let's start measuring how much time it takes us to like they started measuring like how many it happens, how many delays they have, and every time that there was a delay, they had a different excuse, right? They got a new CEO, and he said, let's make it work. And people told him, but look, this time I didn't get the suitcases in on time, and this time there was a storm, and this time there was 1,000 different excuses and different people, and everyone said, oh, it's someone else did it, and this is why we are late. So he changed the whole tactic. And instead, he told them, he created like a new thing in British Airways. Every time that a plane is 20 minutes late, you get me a call. I don't care if it's the middle of the night. I don't care if in which airport it happened. The moment that we have a 20 minutes delay in any plane, you get me a call to the CEO of the company and explain what happened. And you know what happened? He got those calls, he got tons of calls, but when he got the call and the person that is responsible had to tell him why, it never happened again on that problem, right? When the one person, like they couldn't tell him, oh, it's someone else, he did it. Like the person that is in charge of the plane had to do it. And this focus over time, it took a couple of months, and it really helped them like solve all of those small problems, because sometimes now they have the focus. So other people have the experience with them. So what I did is, instead of creating this KPI with a huge dashboard, I created an automation myself that sends to Slack, like, here are the top 5 automation that had most problems yesterday. And it was sent on Slack for us to the whole team. Right, it told you exactly this happened 25,000 times yesterday, specifically in the last 24 hours, right? And this is the biggest cause, and here's all the details you need to investigate it. And I sent it to everyone who works on automations in Monday. And you know what happened? Everyone was all on board. Like the moment, it's not shaming. I didn't name names. Nobody here got the name of you did something wrong. But the moment it was there, eventually, like we got the VP product start. Every time there was a problem, the VP product was saying, okay, what's happened here? Let's fix it. This is the director of engineering saying, okay, look, the error we had like a week ago, it came back yesterday. Let's fix it, right? The whole team had one very, very simple thing that they got every day at 9 a.m. And the first thing they did every morning was go over this list and understand like what happened here, what can we fix, and is there something that we had a couple of weeks ago. And finally, like this is again very ugly graph, but I'm showing you real things that from real company. That's not like a deck that I made in PowerPoint. That's real. This is like the top errors that we had, and we week by week, day by day, we increased the number of errors and the number of failures, and we got automation working better. And finally, we got to today, it's even 9999, right? But finally, we were managed to get it to like as close to 100 as we can, right? It was really, really hard. A lot of people working on it. And now I want to tell you the problem that I did. Like the mistake that I did, I overcomplicated it. Right? Look, because I gave you a lot of examples, right? We talked about vanity metrics, and we talked about usage, and about trees, and about going up and connecting to metric and using multiple use cases, and all of them, like it has its place. But the best KPI is the one that everyone understands and everyone can act upon, and it's really, really easy to get, right? So if you need to choose between two complicated but very accurate and by the book, or very, very simple that everyone can see and understand and act upon, go on the simple one. Like that was the main thing that I took from the whole thing. Today, it doesn't matter on which product I work on. When I join a new company and I'm working on a new product, the first thing I do is create an automation that works on what everything happened the last 24 hours, send it every day, every morning, right? Because I want to make, there's like 1 or 2 numbers that you look at every day, and it's really easy to understand. It's really easy to see if it's better or worse than yesterday, and that's what I show people. So, okay, so those one, I'm going to wrap it up, right? We have 4 problems. The vanity metrics, don't take something that just grow up. Make sure that it actually, if it gets down or if it's changing, it actually changes the way that you work. Don't use measures. Don't look how many people click. Ask how is it affecting my business. Beware of using one metric for everything. Use the most important parts. Understand if there are different users or different use cases or some things. Like it doesn't matter if they're slow or doesn't work. But lastly, don't overcomplicate it. Like think of if you can find like a very, very simple to understand one number and use that. Thank you. I'm going to give you a little bit of recommendations if you want to like double click on something. I have like a couple of, I'll send you later, but a couple of books that I really love, Lean Analytics and Key Performance Indicators, Measure What Happens, about OKRs. Those are really, really nice books. Yeah, we'll send, you have the presentation, I think, here in the actual chat. And some blog posts that I like. I also post a lot in my LinkedIn. I'll share it with you. And I have a lot of posts both on AI and about KPIs and about product management and entrepreneurship. I like really love sharing those things. And that's it. Thank you for your time. Thank you for hosting me. And Sivan, take it, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much, Amichai. And Natalia is back here with us. We will continue for Q&A.
Yeah, if anyone has any questions, feel free to raise your hand, or else you can put it in the chat.
Any questions? Okay.
And I see some people are asking if they could get the presentations done. Will you be able to answer that?
Yeah, definitely. So thank you so much, Amichai, and thank you so much, Natalie, for this amazing audience over here, for being part of our session today, and for all the sharp questions and comments throughout this session. If you are not yet part of our founder community, we would really love to have you here with us. We have our socials, and specifically, we have our WhatsApp group where we have our weekly rituals and expose you to our networking online, offline events globally. So I will share this link with yourselves. In case you are a founder that is really now having at the moment a big question, we are running constantly, we're running polls, checking which webinar you would like us most to focus next. So join us and we will follow up on that. Beyond it, I see here John and I see Yael and I see other people who are in London, including Amichai most of the time. So join us next week for the roundtable event around regulation and growth and AI and compliant AI products with experts. And Charles, anything else we would like to add about DataMelon, about our activities? So, yeah.
Thank you, Sivan. Thank you all for joining this session. And Amike, thank you so much. That was a powerful and interesting session. Someone just dropped on the chat. Can you quickly share the recommendation slides? Are you able to take that?
Yes, I'll share the names of the books, I think, here on the chat, and I will also share the deck with everything. But these are like it's 3 books. but there's if you search them, there's YouTube's summaries and podcasts like on blog posts. So every one of them, if you Google them, you can find like a shorter version that you can just scan over. But those are the one that I read, and I reread them when I need to think about something. But there's a lot of other ways. Just search the name, and you can get a lot of other like simpler ways to just digest the data if anyone in the way that they like it.
Okay. Thank you for that. Yeah, I think he has also dropped a couple of bit on the chat section. Are there references like authors and the rest, so they can be more specific when searching for this online?
So yeah, a lot of the time. So this specifically, look, the problem with KPIs is that they need to be different, right? If you use the same KPI that generic that you get from the internet, it will not work for your company or your product. Like you really need to think of what I'm working on. Like how does success look like? How does the value of the user look like, right? And then is there like different aggregate? Should I separate it, right? Do I have different type of users? Do I have different type of countries? Do I have different type of technology? And like those are the things that you can think of. So I give you like the ideas, but eventually you need to do it if you copy paste it from the internet, it won't be good enough. That's the main idea. But it's okay to start with something that is, start with something and improve it over time. As you see, those KPIs, I always change them because when I learn something new and I say, okay, let's filter them a little bit or like make them a bit sharper to the use case. So don't worry if you don't get something perfect. It's not about perfection. It's about learning.
Great.
I have a question. So someone's asking, hi, Michelle, while validating Monday, how did you confirm if the market wants your product as opposed to just identifying the problem by just building solutions?
Yeah, so I actually have a full session on it if you want, Ivan, for next time. But there's a couple of things that you can do. So, for example, you can test if the market wants your product without really building it yet. So, for example, some people are building a landing page that has like the fake product. We call it fake doors, right? It has features or product that it explains the product, and eventually, when you click start, it tells you, okay, we are working on it. Put your emails here, right? And then you can do it, and you can put it like on Facebook groups or WhatsApp and see if people are even interested. Like if people got to the place when they actually try to pay for a product that doesn't exist, it means that they want it, right? That's one. Secondly, a lot of it is that's like quantity. And today with Lovable, you can even build like a very, very lean version of the app and just share it with people and see if they use it before you invest the time to really build it. The second thing is with user interviews, right? I'm asking who is the main user that I'm trying to sell to, right? Is it an IT manager? Is it like a sport? Is this a manager? It's the government. It's like a small business, a big business in the US, in Europe, in Africa. Like I'm asking who exactly is the user, and then I'm looking for people in this like area, and I start to interview them, and I don't tell them like, here is my product. Do you want to use it? I'm asking them, what's the biggest problem that you face today? Right? How does success look to you? What's the hardest thing in your job that you had to do in the last month, right? And when I see someone that tells me, like I talk to multiple people in the same industry, and they all tell me, look, the hardest thing in my day was this. So that's a problem worth fixing, right? That's a problem that if you build the product, they will actually want to use, right? So there's a lot of different techniques. What I'm trying to say, I want to build the product last. I first want to do all the things that are easy to do, that before building the product. And when I know people want it, then I start building it. And when I knew a new feature, the same. I first talk to people, put like coming soon, see if people engage with it, and then I build it. If I see nobody wants it, I don't build it. That's on one leg, right? And if I have to give you a short answer.
Okay. Any further questions? about the presentation, about our community. I can definitely add that, as I started beforehand saying, if you are a startup founder / CTO, I saw Snait here and other founders that are already in touch with us, and you need infrastructure support, whether it's like figuring out what to build on, or how to scale, or how to keep the costs under control, as our account manager, Ayobami, said beforehand. Just drop us a message, contact us. You are now part of the community on WhatsApp through these links here. We look forward to hearing from you all.
Yeah, thank you, Sivan. Just to also add to what Sivan had said, we can also help you with round-the-clock solutions architects. For a session like this, in case you want a one-on-one DTM strategy, we have specialists, we have experts in this field that we can actually like also connect you to. We also have experts and specialists who can help you with your pitch decks. We have roundtables like the one Sivana said earlier. One is coming up 26th of this month. Currently, we have this webinar ongoing, and this webinar is a recurring thing. It happens every month. So you want to be in the community so you don't miss out on things like on important things like this. Also, we run accelerator program. We did one last year, AI Ignite. We're hoping to also have like similar events this year too. Then also if you're also startups and you want to build something, you don't know how to go about it, or you're confused, or you just need the clarity. Here you are, or you can always reach out to us, and that's actually one of the reasons why you also need to be part of the startup. And also, if you have a startup you're running, you're not just a founder. If you're a founder, you are in the business part, no problem. But this one basically is tailored to the CTOs. So if you have a startup you're running and you are a CTO, you should also be in this community, because we have the CTO Focus Forum coming up very soon. We'll be unveiling it. As time goes on. But then, so you don't miss out on this important information and all of that. So just write in the chat box. I know the link is there. In case you miss it, you can just scroll up and click on the link, so you're able to join. I think there's also a question here. I don't know if we can take this as the last question before we close the session. Amike, are you? Okay, so this question is that in the age of AI agent, how does monetization work on products?
Yeah, so I can share a little bit from what I will tell you that, for example, in Monday, for years, our main monetization was on seats, right? Like how many people use the product. And when we look at it forward, we're saying, look, we don't think seats is the right thing. We're not thinking that how many people use the product is not the right metric. Not like the monetization metric is wrong, right? If now 5 people in a room with 100 agents can work like a company of 100 people, and you sell seats, like you're not really connecting it. Like, first of all, it's not your company won't work, and secondly, you won't be able to scale, right? They will do more and more work, and with the same number of people. So now, like with the automations here, we're starting to think of let's not ask how many people use it. Let's ask how much value do I give to your organization, right? So the easiest thing, let's take like there's some products, for example, they have agents that they just solve support tickets, right? So instead of asking how many people use it, you can say, okay, how many support tickets were I able to solve in like very fast with very high satisfaction, right? Or what percentage of the tickets were able to be solved with this agent, right? That you don't need the person for. So you're asking what is the value. So if you have an agent that actually gets leads, okay, so how many qualified leads that can actually become customers did I get you, right? So we are moving more and more away from, okay, how many people have this UI and click on this button, to more and more how much value did I get to your organization, and like how many outcomes. Instead of like managing your work, we are doing the work for you. So, and then I will tell you, it's even a more lucrative deal, right? Because how much would you pay for a seat in one product when you need like thousands of products for like multiple products for employee? But if I build something that can actually do the same work as a full employee, you know how much money does it cost to get another employee in the company? Like if I can take away instead of a seat, so I can sell you something that is a lot more valuable and that you will willing to pay me a lot more because like you are saving a lot more. So we are looking, as I said, we are moving away from how many people use it or managing your work to how do I measure like how much work I did instead of you, or how many people were, if we'll be extreme here, how many people did I replace in your company, right? That's like the real measurement, because that's the easiest thing to connect to money and to connect to value in a business.
Yeah, I think it was super generous and brilliant. We couldn't thank you more. Big shout out, Natalie, all the way from San Francisco. Thank you so much for joining us today for this session. Thank you to this amazing audience, everyone here with all the questions. We look forward to seeing you on the WhatsApp streets. So join us on the link, and see you on our next webinar. Have a great afternoon, evening. Bye-bye.